we have put a mic under the hood, back by the exhaust, inside of the car, on me, to transfer the driving experience to you through the sound. I'm gonna be talking about manual conversion that we did on this car. This might be the only B12 E32 Alpina with this conversion, and that's exactly the reason why I've done this. BMW has never put a manual gearbox into E32 7 Series V8, 4-liter or 5-liter V12 models, which is a pity. And neither Alpina offered manual on B12. My conspiracy theory, if you like, why BMW hasn't done this is that maybe if you put a manual into 750 V12 model, maybe you are kind of in the territory of 850i E31. Why not to put the same gearbox into the 7 Series body when you can have 7 Series with the manual gearbox but with the weaker engine? In my opinion, this might be the only B12 E32 Alpina with this conversion, and this particular car is actually possibly the only B12 ever made in this beautiful Nautic Green color. So some people might ask, why to manual swap such a rare car, and specifically this one? And that's exactly the reason why I've done this. This change actually doesn't require much. From technical perspective, to change the gearbox is not that much of a problem. These cars were actually prepared for manual gearbox, and the gearbox from the 8 Series, it actually fits perfectly without any welding, without any cutting, without any intrusions into the body frame or into the body of the car. All the changes that you do on this car are absolutely reversible. But I guarantee you that when you drive E32 M70 powered car with a manual gearbox, specifically with a 6-speed from 8 Series, there isn't a chance that you will want to convert it or put it back to automatic. There are two mostly used gearboxes. One is the one that we're using, the Getrack from 6-speed from 8 Series. But there is also a school of thought to use 6-speed from diesel gearbox from E60 530D, for example, which is a great gearbox, which is made for higher torque, and it works fine. The problem is that you need a little bit more work around conversion plate and actually making it work in the car, and we have done that as well. I have bought the conversion kit from Poland and we put it into one E32 for a customer, and what we ended up doing was that he didn't like how the gearbox felt. It didn't fully fit, it wasn't a factory feeling. If you want a factory feeling, you need Getrack gearbox. They are more expensive to get than obviously a diesel gearbox, but in terms of labor, in terms of time, this project is actually, or this alternative is actually quicker and cheaper. And most importantly, there is a factory feeling. The gear shifts are solid, the gearbox isn't rattling, the gearbox isn't struggling with the placement. it just fits and it works as it should, because this is 8 series gearbox, and the gearbox was made for this engine. It's quite difficult to explain how a car feels to drive for someone who is not a professional journalist with the setup of a Top Gear. So we were thinking how to best put that into a video, how to best transform that driving experience. What we have done is that we have put a mic under the hood, back by the exhaust, inside of the car, on me. So we have quite a lot of gadgets installed on the car to transfer the driving experience to you through the sound. How is it to drive B12 Alpina, or generally E32 V12 with a manual? For me, the closest car to this in terms of the driving experience is 850 CSI. Of course, that car has a little bit more horsepower and the engine is different, similar family of engine. Another thing about V12 engines, I was thinking about them today. They are very difficult for people to understand, because this is not an Italian V12 that screams, that is loud and that is exotic. This is V12 that is meant to be a jet engine, basically, in a car. This is a business jet engine. That also defines the driving experience. So when you accelerate from red lights, first, second gear, there is nothing that screams about the engine that this is a sporty car. Even the B12, it is a little bit quicker than 750, but it's not noticeable straight away. The difference in low speed is not significant. The problem with that gearbox is that they are very expensive, anywhere between 3,000 to 7,000 euros. They are very hard to get. Usually there is just one for sale on the planet, and then there might be months when there is no gearbox for sale. That's one problem. The second problem is that they worn out a little bit, as any gearbox, and you have absolutely no idea when you're buying the gearbox what condition the gearbox is in, actually, inside. And there is a big chance that synchros between the gears, they are usually worn out. Almost every second gearbox that we've seen had problems with synchros. So the problem might be that you buy the gearbox and it turns out that the gearbox is not working 100% correct. It will work, but there will be some gear grinding which you don't want. We've done that in past, and it's I basically used two gearboxes to make one perfect for the red Alpina, and from the leftovers we did the gearbox for this car, which is not 100%, but it's 95%. When you get used to it, it doesn't grind, but someone who never drove the car might find that the second gear is weird. That's the problem, but when you actually install it, the feeling that you get from the car is undescribable. Where the manual helps a lot is in higher speeds. I would say from 80 upwards to highway speeds. In other words, this is a highway missile, this car. This is a highway cruiser. And there you get the acceleration upgrade or bonus from the engine quite visibly. This is not a stock car, and this is not some normal 750. The 50 horsepower plus from Alpina, plus the gearbox, ceramic clutch, and the clutch pedal. They all make small, but together a huge difference. This is the closest you can get to 850 CSI, but I always prefer the body of E32 because we're sitting here 3 people right now. We can take another one, we can take all our luggages, we can cruise the country in this car and basically have the same performance. And because it's so practical, it's so big inside, 8 Series is quite small car inside, you have much more airy feeling from this car, and combined with almost the same performance as you would get in 850 CSI, this is for me much more attractive package. And what is quite interesting with the 750 short wheelbase that we manual swap with this gearbox, the consumption went down incredibly to almost something like 14 liters to something like 10 or 11 liters. Generally, the consumption fell down rapidly, which is amazing given how thirsty the engine can be with the automatic. So that's enough of talking, and now enjoy the sound of Alpina B12 with manual. But